It's 1943. A Spanish fisherman named Jose Antonio Rey Maria is walking along the beach near the town of Punta Umbria when he sees something floating in the shallow water. It's a body dressed in a British military uniform, a briefcase still chained to its wrist. He has no idea that what he just found was never supposed to be real. Not the uniform, not the name on the ID card, not even the man's entire life story. The body belonged to a man the British called Major William Martin, except William Martin never existed. What washed up on that beach wasn't just a corpse, it was bait, a carefully built lie designed to fool Adolf Hitler himself. This is the story of Operation Mincemeat, one of the strangest deception plans in military history, and how a dead man with no family helped change the outcome of World War II. By the time German intelligence got their hands on the documents in that briefcase, the trap had already been set, and almost none of it was true. Let's start with the problem. In 1943, the Allies were planning to invade Sicily, and everyone, including the Germans, knew it was the obvious next target. British intelligence needed the Germans to believe the invasion was happening somewhere else entirely. Two officers, Ewan Montague and Charles Cholmondeley, came up with an idea so strange it almost got rejected on the spot. Find a dead body, dress it as a British officer, plant fake invasion plans on it, let the Germans find it themselves. The body they used belonged to a homeless Welshman named Glyndwr Michael, who had died from poisoning, likely by accident. He had no family to claim him, which made him, in the coldest possible sense, perfect for the job. They gave him a new identity, Major William Martin of the Royal Marines. They built an entire fake life around him, identity cards, a photo of a fiancée, theater ticket stubs, even a stern letter from his father about his spending habits. The goal wasn't just to plant documents, it was to make the Germans believe a real person had carried them. Attached to his wrist by a briefcase chain were fake letters between British generals describing plans to invade Greece and Sardinia, not Sicily. On April 30th, 1943, a British submarine surfaced off the coast of Spain and released the body into the water, timed to drift toward shore. Spain was technically neutral, but Spanish authorities were known to quietly share information with German intelligence. The body was found by a local fisherman the next morning. Spanish officials recovered the documents, photographed them, and, exactly as British intelligence hoped, passed copies to German agents before returning the originals. Here's where it could have all fallen apart. If a single document looked tampered with, if the body looked staged, the entire operation would have been exposed. German intelligence officers examined the case closely. Some were skeptical, but the deception was detailed enough and convincing enough that it passed. The documents made their way to Hitler's desk, and remarkably, he believed them. German forces began shifting troops and defenses toward Greece and Sardinia, away from Sicily, the actual invasion target. On July 9, 1943, Allied forces landed in Sicily and found far weaker resistance than expected. Historians still debate exactly how much credit Operation Mincemeat deserves, but most agree it played a real role in reducing German defenses at the actual landing site. Winston Churchill reportedly received a telegram confirming the deception had worked with a single line, "Mincemeat swallowed whole." The entire plan hinged on tiny details, a fake love letter, a used theater ticket, a photo of a woman who wasn't really his fiancée. She was a secretary at MI5 who volunteered for the photo. If any one of those details had felt fake, the whole operation could have unraveled. What's strange is that the man at the center of the plan, Glyndwr Michael, never knew the role he'd play. He died with no family, no recognition, and no idea his body would help shape a turning point in the war. Decades later, his grave in Spain was updated to include his real name alongside the alias he was given. Glyndwr Michael served as Major William Martin, RM. Operation Mincemeat didn't fire a single shot. It didn't involve a single battle, but it may have saved thousands of lives by convincing an entire army to defend the wrong coastline. It's one of the strangest examples in history of how a war can be shaped not by force, but by a carefully built lie. Think about that for a moment. An entire German defense strategy shifted not by tanks or intelligence agents, but by a fake fiancé's photo and a used theater ticket stub. Glendower Michael never asked to be part of any of this. He had no idea in death that his body would help decide the fate of an invasion, and yet his story is barely known today, overshadowed by the battles and the generals that came after him. It raises a strange question. How many other turning points in history came down to convincing the right person to believe the wrong thing? If a dead man's fake love letters could shift the outcome of a war, what else has history quietly gotten away with? If you enjoyed uncovering this one, there are plenty more strange true stories like it hiding in history. Stories where the smallest details ended up shaping the biggest outcomes. Subscribe if you want to keep digging into them, and let me know in the comments, what's the strangest true wartime story you've ever heard?